Beard Realtors. Bossum is awesome. Put Bossum to work for you by calling 636-2...
ETU Found Wichita, R.J. Dickens, James Barfield, Cheryl Nutt, Phil Journey, and tonight, Dr. Nabil Seyam. Now, KCTU 5 presents Wichita's longest-running talk program, the River City Forum.
Good evening and welcome to the River City Forum. This is your host, Nabil Seyam. I was very surprised with that nice commercial. I thought he was going to say Nabil is awesome, but he said Bassem is awesome. So that would make two awesome of us, which I do respect that. As always, we start the show with promoting this nice weekly newspaper. It's called the Prospector. It can be found at over 575 different locations throughout South Central Kansas. Inside you'll find hundreds of classified ads, as well as the weekly newspaper columns by Ron and Cheryl Nutt and R.J. Dickens. Inside you can review the KCTU lineup, which you won't find anywhere else north of 47th Street. Pick up a Prospector today, because if you don't get it every week, you just don't get it. The KCTU lineup can also be found every Saturday in the Hayesville Times, and you can buy or subscribe to the Hayesville Times for only $20 a year, and that's a pretty good deal. As always, and I have promised you that on Mondays I share the best of the best with you. And the reason is because, as I have said before, many talk show hosts, TVs and radios, they are kind of biased in one angle. They always show you one side of the coin. Well, because I'm fair to our viewers, I would like to show you not just the other side of the coin, but I would like to show you both sides of the coin. And that's why I do have a very, very special program for you that nobody wants to talk about. So I want to take a little break because I'm fasting today, so I want to take about 3 minutes of break, and please stay tuned and I'll see you in a few minutes. Now, what is the one subject that many people don't want to talk about? Well, it's the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Now, is it a Palestinian-Israeli conflict? Is it a Muslim-Jewish conflict? Is it an Arab-Israeli conflict? Well, it depends on who is. It depends on what side you're talking about. It depends on whose side you're talking with. It depends on the different perspectives. I see it personally as an Arab Palestinian Israeli, as an Arab Palestinian Muslim side versus maybe a Jewish and also at the same time Israeli side. So these are the two sides I look at. Well, today I brought one of the best people who actually knows about this topic, knows about this subject, not just because she is a professor. She is an associate professor at WSU in the Center of Women's Studies, but she has been to Ramallah, she has been to the Holy Land, she has been to Israel, she has been to Palestine, and many of the Americans who have views on the Palestinian-Israeli issue have never even been outside Wichita, but they act as they are scholars on this issue. Well, I have brought somebody who really knows what the heck is going on over there in that land, which many of us have not even seen. It's the only Dr. Deborah Gordon.
Thank
Dr.
you.
How are you? I'm so happy for you to be on the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, many of the viewers, and this is all over the paper and TVs, even some textbooks, the Arab-Israeli conflict, it's a biblical. I mean, it started like thousands and thousands of years ago, where the way we studied history, and if you document history, we see that this is just started in the late 1880 plus. So this is a modern conflict.
Absolutely. This is a modern conflict. It's primarily 20th century, but it begins in the latter part of the 19th century. And one of the interesting aspects of it is that both the Palestinian people and the Zionist movement, who would later establish the State of Israel, both of them, their national movements begin at roughly the same period of time. And so you have two conflicting nationalisms, both of whom are looking toward the British, who had a mandate over Palestine at that period of time. They're looking to the British to fulfill their national aspirations. And that's one of the interesting dimensions of the conflict, is they're really looking to Britain
Right.
to solve
But
their needs.
But first, in 1882, if we go just a little bit back, because a lot of viewers, they just hear today what's happening today, not knowing what happened yesterday. But in 1882, it was a movement in Europe, and it was an idea that came up with Herzl, actually, in 1897, Herzl, who came up with the idea that we need to establish a nation or a national home for the Jewish. That's where the idea started, even back in 1897. So can you elaborate on that issue?
I'm not an expert in sort of early Zionism, except that to say that the early Zionists, the first Zionists, were Eastern European and Russian Jews, and who had basically felt that there could never be a place for Jews in Europe or Russia, that area of the world where Jews would not be